These great panelists here. My name is Inaba. I'm going to help host and just kind of keep going. And why don't you guys introduce yourselves?
Wow. Hey, thanks for showing up today. My name is Paul Wong, a.k.a. D-Dub Agent, and I'm with Keller Williams Tri-Valley.
My name is Ricardo Velasco. I'm a managing partner at Sequoia Real Estate. And I just want to thank everyone for taking the time out of your busy schedule to come here. Thank you to the sponsors. It means a lot to us. Without your guys' support, a lot of this wouldn't happen. Benjamin, shout out to you, man, for all the hard work of getting this thing organized. So thank you again for bringing us together.
Truong, Fascination and Cloud Real Estate. Thank you for bearing with me.
Real good. So should we just get right into the questions?
Let's do it.
We're going to have a Q&A afterwards. So if you guys have any questions, anything we haven't addressed, and you're really, really curious, you're really burning to know how these guys do it, then certainly get your questions ready.
Steph Curry.
He's the answer. Steph Curry's the answer.
I thought you said favorite player.
Oh, favorite?
Oh,
okay. You know, it's on his mind. What is your favorite social media platform and why?
I love the dual platform. As a matter of fact, they're actually by the same company. So I love Instagram and Facebook at the same time. Mm-hmm. I do like a 60-40 split, 60 Instagram and 40 Facebook.
I look at it as I think all of them are important. I don't think you can really discount any of the platforms. I often say that in today's world, everyone's going to search differently. So I think that it's important that you're out there on Facebook, Instagram. Obviously your profiles on the real estate web pages are so important. Reviews, all of that is important. You just don't know where, in fact, that particular buyer or your client or your family member, your strong referral base may start that search. So it's important that you have consistency and continuity through all of social media. They all play a very big part. Obviously, right now, we get this big push going on to get onto LinkedIn. It's like you got to be on LinkedIn, right? For me, it's really amazing every time I go to these events where we talk to these experts, technology experts. Every year seems to switch, right? One year we're like, hey, you got to be big on Instagram. You got to do podcasts. It's always pivoting. The industry always pivots. And now it's LinkedIn. So it's like you got to be on LinkedIn. I don't know. Really, sometimes I wonder, all the top speakers, is like, do they run out of things to come to sell to us? It's like, okay, this is the flavor of the year. Right? Like, we're not doing open houses no more 1 to 4. We're going 2 to 4. Okay, so I don't know what the real answer is, but I do know that you have to be out there and spread your business footprint as much as you can for people to find you, and it has to be consistent. But anyway, that's kind of my viewpoint on it.
I don't use anything except Instagram. I'm on Facebook, get tagged a lot because I go to different places, but I don't post anything here. If you left me a happy birthday on my wall for my birthday, I'm really sorry. I didn't really respond to anyone. I'm spending all my time on Instagram stories, because that's where the engagement is. There's actually, in January, the statistic was there's actually 500 million active daily users on Instagram stories. That's pretty crazy, and I think that the future of social media is engagement. It's not about how many likes you have on your posts. They're actually testing in I think Australia right now, where they're actually hiding the number of likes on your posts, and Facebook, certain cities and countries are doing that too. So for me, I talk to a lot of you guys pretty frequently on Instagram. So I think driving forward, that's what people want to do. Social media is where you want to talk to people. So I use Instagram because that's where most of my crowd is. And I think Facebook is still really strong. I see some people doing it really well. It's more like an older crowd, but also the older crowd is probably your sellers, versus your millennial buyers. So you want to be where I think it fits you.
Yeah, very good. Yeah. In my opinion, I agree. I think Instagram, Facebook, they're definitely the most effective, but they're all important, and they all kind of trade off in importance too as the years go by and things like that. What is your best success story that has happened as a result of using social media? Everyone's got one, so can you give us an example of one?
I'm here today. Well, I'll give you a most recent one. Kenny and I, we just put together a deal.
Off market.
And off market. It was a discussion that was at an airport to Tom Ferry Summit, and that's where the deal was hatched. And when we came back, the ball started rolling. But more importantly, this deal could not have sustained itself if Kenny, myself, and Miori did not know each other, the parties that were involved. Because that deal had all the reasons to fall apart. If it was a traditional deal and there was no trust between the three agents that was involved, the lender or the escrow, all that partnership, if we did not know each other through social media, because through social media, it's a true transparency of who you are as a person. Off of a photograph, it's just more of this is my best shot or best version of me, and I get to select which one. With story, like Kenny mentioned, it's live. It is transparent. You could look not too great, but that's what the content and that's what your viewer would like to see. So for me, the biggest win was just this last weekend that we put together an off-market deal. And again, really, I'm so grateful, because if it wasn't for Kenny and Miori's trust in my ability to close and to say that we're okay, trust me, that we're able to do this.
I agree. I think that social media has given our sphere of influence, especially like for me, kind of a look underneath the hood, so to speak, to see who you are as a person. And it's a fine line sometimes between, what you do put out there and how they're looking at you, as far as where you're at in your career. But we're also looking at making connections, just like Paul mentioned, of especially nowadays off-market deals. So there's all this information that's out there. But for me, I would have to say that it's a way that I always circle back to and you're right, Facebook has an older kind of generation on there, and it's where they're looking at me as to if I'm relevant, if I'm active, if there are things going on. And I have people who call me and say, hey, look, great job on this, or I see that, you've got, this nice listing or whatever the case. And it kind of opens up the dialogue one more time to go back and touch the people that are part of my sphere. So I definitely agree with you. There's a lot of wins out there. It just depends on how you position yourself and who you're out there networking with.
For me, the way I do my Instagram, I don't really attract clients. It sounds weird, but I attract agents. So most of the people who follow me are agents. So like every week, I'm usually getting a couple of referrals. You see me, I screenshot, I blank out the name. Like this week, I got 2 condo listings and 2 buyers from it, and also like got a lot of. So since I've been with client the last 5 years, I've actually recruited, I think, around 75 agents now. Like Freddie, example, we met or communicated through Instagram, and he sends me some people to talk to, and I recruited agent up that introduction, and I've been introduced to a lot of other people through social media. So my team, like this time last year, was just like one person, no, two people. But now I have a team of about 11 or 12 agents, and all of them have found me through social media. And I think social media is more powerful now because I've worked with many agents that I attracted before, but it was really based on my sales volume or things they've read about, which, then the turnover on those team members was pretty high because people come, they learn, and they go. But now using like social media, people wouldn't even reach out to me to talk to me, to want to work with me or work for me unless they also are in the same style I work, or the same type of hustle. So I think that has been really powerful in helping me expand my team. And like right now, I'm interviewing 3 more people in the next week and a half to join my team. That we're talking not through text but through Instagram.
Mm-hmm. Very good. So, what is your strategy for getting engagement, for getting your posts seen, for getting social conversation started?
I think with me, I'm like the opposite of what Kenny just shared about how with his Instagram is about how he's engaging with agents. For me, it's just more of being top of mind. I believe I've spoken with a couple of people in terms of, as a newer agent, my background is actually, I used to manage KFC for 2 decades. So I've always been in the back of the house. So it wasn't like I had a database. When we come to this industry, it was like, what's your database? I'm like, what's that? You have anyone's email? Why would I need email? I'm a cook, right? So in the beginning, I mean, we all know the game. It's just pretty much reaching out to your sphere. That's your number one, right? Well, I felt very uncomfortable with that. So what I did was I actually used social media indirectly, rather than tell my friends and family that, hey, I'm in real estate. Who do you know that's looking to buy or sell or invest in real estate? It's more like, why don't I show them what I do on a daily level, right? Because I'm not sure if there are some newer agents here, because in that beginning, let's be real, your closest friend, your closest family member, in the back of their mind, like, hey, look, it's like the most expensive piece of investment I have. Are you sure I want to give it to someone that just started in the industry, right? So for me, it was more of like, I think Kenny shared a lot. Kenny's a great mentor to me. And he shares a lot about story selling, right? So what I do on a daily level is to basically share, this is what I'm doing from 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock. And I let people decide, and build their confidence through my social media.
There's 2 points that resonate with me. One is creating that connection, and I'm going back to my sphere because it isn't recruiting for me either, or it's not really trying to drum up so much outside business as it is to stay in front of my current clientele and to see how they envision, if they ever were in a position to maybe think about real estate, whether it's buying or selling, that I'm still right in the forefront by creating some type of video that is not an infomercial, but it's something that's real. And so I'm real careful about how I want that to look towards the people that are my circle, my spheres per se. Mm-hmm. But then the other side of it is that I do want them to know me from not just real estate, right? So events that we do, when we do this big event in Pinot where we do a car show, we get like 3,000 people down there, and it's not about real estate. It's about, this event that we put together where we bring out 3,000 individuals, families and friends, and it's like, they get to see the other side of you, right? That you're actually there with your family, other family members, and everyone's having a real good time. You're not really selling them anything. It's really connecting. And then we also get into the weeds with tech events that we have, and then seminars that we do. And so it's a lot of that. And I think that's really where we start getting a lot of momentum, because it's not always about being that salesperson or that trusted advisor as it is, who is this person, in the real world? How do you plug in? What's your piece in this whole equation and puzzle? Yeah, we got video world, that we go out there, but after a while, people want to shake your hand. Who are you, right? We want to know, can I have a conversation with this person? How is that person going to be able to negotiate my contract outside of behind that keyboard? And I think that's where I kind of see where social media gives me that introduction to meet people. Because at the end of the day, it's still about the experience that you create with people. It's not how I always tell everyone in speech, it's not how you really start, it's how you finish. So this is one part of the starting part, but then you got to finish it. So anyway, that's how I look at it.
So what was the question was how to create engagement? Was it?
Yeah, how to effectively create engagement.
So engagement, people want to talk to you if there's something to talk about, right? So I think if you want people to talk to you, you want people to be interested in you, you got to post interesting content. So what would that look like? Posting, so for me, I post, because I do a lot of sales. I'm really active in the field. I had like four listing appointments today, and I actually recorded every single thing I went to today. So people want to see exactly what it is you're doing, how you're running your business, if you're trying to attract other agents. And then on top of that, you post things you like. Like I post stupid memes all the time, and I'll save them for later. I saved just a bunch of stuff I saved right now. I haven't posted yet. If I'm bored or I need something filled in, I'll post that. Or I fly like 150 days a year, so I go to tons of conferences and speaking events. And I'll be like, usually it's just me in the crowd. Like even if I'm not speaking, I go to the conferences and I'll record what they're saying and then bring it back to the people who follow me. So I'm kind of like a journalist in a sense to the people who follow me, so they can bring more value to their business. And then whatever your day looks like. So if you're doing interesting stuff, just record it.
Yeah. A lot of great answers, and they're all pretty much very different. So, different ways of doing things. This is a great question I came up with. Through social media, it's definitely changed the way I do business and how I interact with people, and it's done it in a very positive way. So I want to ask you guys, has social media changed you guys, and if so, how?
I would not be up here 5 years ago. It's great. It's great because I see a lot of faces here, and we're connecting for the first time, yet it's almost as if we've known each other for years. You know, and that's, to me, that's really the power of social media, right? That we have, I mean, really, like when it's, you know them, but you don't, and then when you meet them, you're like, holy cow, right? So to me, that's really the beauty of social media for me.
You know, I had an aha moment with one of my daughters when she was in college. And, you know, here's Dad thinking he's doing all the right things, right? And meeting all these people out there.
You know, this is being recorded, right?
That's all right. She's getting married on Saturday, so there's a big event going on for us. But, you know, I was there when she's in college, and I was with a different company at the time, and the card had a lot of lawn on it, a lot of green. And one of her classmates says to her, hey, you know, my parents are thinking about buying a house. Oh, no, the conversation with my parents are thinking about buying a house. And my daughter says, oh, my dad's in real estate. She goes, well, I saw his card. I thought he was a gardener. So right there, I knew I had that aha moment that I better get on social media and change that dynamics or change the brand, because obviously we were given the wrong message. Our message was totally misconstrued. So I knew that I really needed to make a change and have a presence on social media, right? So that's the first thing I did was, okay, well, how do I do this? How do I get to that point, you know? So it changed my life because I call it, you have to have your digital footprint. Like anything else that we do in life, you know, and there's a lot of Yelpers here. When you want to know about a restaurant, when you want to know about just to qualify things, and that's what they're talking about, you got to spread it out. That's what they're looking at. They're looking to see who you are, right? And then, yeah, you get people like millennials who are really inquisitive about, you know, what are you eating nowadays, which, you know, blows my mind. But, you know, but it is. I'll say this a million times. The industry pivots, and you got to pivot. You got to change. You know, when I first got into the bit, I hate to date myself here, Kenny, but it was like MapQuest. You know, it was like not even GPS, right? And it's like, man, nowadays everything is, you know, we do everything on our phones. So yeah, so has it impacted? It is, and it's going to change drastically. I mean, the way we look at it today will change tremendously by, you know, next year.
Can I add something to that?
Yeah.
You brought up a great point. For me, also what social media has done for me is I use it as a journal, a digital journal. Because if you think about it, it's pretty cool when I look at, you know, like when you look at, damn, I wore that at my first opening, right? It's like 4 years later, like you're at the sign. It's like my first open out. I'm like, damn, okay. But a lot of it is also, like Kenny says, I think what Kenny and I think we'll all agree here is that we're sort of leaving, what's that? We're leaving crumbs behind us, because it's almost where I think one day Kenny's so transparent that if you want to get to his level, if you just look at all of his content and replicate it, you'd be surprised with where your career would be. And I think that's where social media has changed for us in a sense, because we are logging it and so that people behind us can actually say, one day I want to be like him, but they didn't just show up and say, I am this producer. Go back and take a year's content and see where they were. And I'm sure you'll see a really interesting picture of him in front of a mirror with a camera and whatnot, you know, during the YouTube days, right?
It's like, I think social media, so I've been pretty good with social media since really early on when there was like Zanga and MySpace and Facebook came up, but also I was really shy and kept to myself, which sounds weird. Because like on those spaces I created this cool site, but I never had a picture of myself on it. Like I Zanga, I had a huge following, I was writing really long stuff, like humor stuff, but there was no picture on it. So I've always like been open with content or creating content, but it wasn't like more recently until I think I got on stories like maybe 2 years ago, and I didn't even put the camera on it. But I remember I was really frustrated. I was seeing my Peter Lang and Jerry Beverly in my office just killing it, talking to people. I was like, if they're in front of camera, I was like, I hate being in front of camera. Just like, you just can't do it. And then one day, just screw it, and just did it, and just couldn't stop. And then like the thing about like social media, it makes you more social. Because now you're talking to people, you learn to be a more confident person, more active, more interesting, because you get feedback like from people, like what's funny, what's not, like, you know, it's just a happy face or something, right? Then you kind of understand like how people act. So I think social media just makes you a better person within your network. It makes you confident, it makes you want to do more, see what other people are doing, and just have people to model after, and or you know, goes both ways.
I want to jump in there real fast. You know, Kenny has a certain talent that, you know, he's really raised the bar in what he does. For you or any one of us ever try to match that bar, it would be really tough, right?
Also, no sleep.
No sleep. And I'm just being honest with everyone. Everyone really has to find their own... Your thing. Where's your happy space, right? Where you're going to be able to fit in and make it comfortable for you. I mean, I got into real estate because I really wanted to do it my way. I didn't want to door knock on 1,000 doors and get like the percentage of getting 2 leads. That wasn't me. So you really have to find that space that you fit in and capitalize it and make it work for yourself. And that's how you're going to have success. Because you're not going to be, you know, if you're not the kind of guy that's going to sit there and do the thing, you don't do it. Find your space. Grow in your space. You know, find what makes you happy. But you got to do something. The thing is, if you don't do anything, you won't grow. And that's what I always tell my agents and the people I'm around, is that you have to be proactive, you know, and you're not going to be Kenny. You're not. You know, the guy's just on a whole different level. And
I'm listening to this book by Seth Godin. This is marketing. Like in this chapter today, he said something pretty interesting I didn't think about before. He's like marketing doesn't the way you do brand marketing, direct marketing. Direct marketing is send postcards, someone will call you. Brand marketing, you put an advertisement on a billboard or something, you just hope people call you. But like brand marketing, your social media marketing, it doesn't. If you're not running ads, like you're not actually using it to generate leads. You're using it because when people drop your name or something, they just go there to validate. Do I want to work with this person? Because everyone is easy because people are just clicking all day. Like if I want to look for a lender in the Richmond area, I could probably see 20 of them in the next 2 hours. I was just kind of aimlessly clicking. But then it's your whatever you're posting is the one that decide, hey, this is the person I want to work with, whatever that person might be. But I feel like there's people who are too shy to post things, and then like you're not letting people get to know you. Then like why would they pick you? You're not giving them opportunity to connect with you, to get who you are, whatever that might be in your circles. I feel like I did a good job just because I post a lot and I try to attract so many people, and then that's why I get a wider net, throwing a wider net out there. But a lot of people that look at my stuff would never work with me, like never ever work with me.
I think that's a great point you brought up, because the thing about social media, it goes both ways, right? Because you want to jump in the water, and all of a sudden you see a shark like Kenny in there. You don't want to get in the water, right? So the main thing you got to understand is that you just got to be 1% better every day. You know, just one post, whatever that may be to you, because the thing about social media, and it's not just real estate, everything else, right? Whether the bigger house, the nicer car, whatever, you start comparing. That's the double-edged sword with social media. So if anything, for a lot of us out there, the thing that I would echo on is the fact that just do you. Just do you. What's going to make your needle move today? That's what's the most important. Not whoever is around you that's doing what they're doing.
There's another thing that one of my mentors, like Mark Choi, taught me. There's mind share and there's market share. So like I tell everyone this, like most of you guys probably don't have a ton of market share. Mark didn't either, but he ended up being the number one agent in the Infinity Tower in San Francisco. He would just sit in the elevator all day long with open house signs. But why is this important? Like, there's people that follow you right now that don't follow anyone else. They might follow a couple other people, but we don't overlap that much. But if you could be top of mind for your group, that's the group you can connect with. It's not about just like pure numbers. You just need a really small crowd to like you. I've seen like I have like, I don't know, 70 400 followers or something, but I'll post something, maybe I'll get like 100 something likes, which I don't actually post a lot. But now I'll see my friends, like non-real estate friends, they have like, I don't know, 800 followers, 1,000. They'll post something and they get 200 likes. The difference is they're more engaged with the small network they have, which will actually make them more stronger for referral-based deals, which I don't do that many referral deals off my past clients or my friends, because I put myself to look like I'm really busy, which I am. But that's why I get more agent referrals. But for you, it's actually probably easier and better if you can get more referrals within your family and friends by posting stuff they care about, like your kids or whatever hobbies else you like cars, nature, hiking, whatever it is.
Dogs.
Babies. Yeah, like I have a checklist actually I usually share, but
Good point.
Tuesday, dogs. Food, yeah.
All right, these guys are going on and on. You guys are going to put me out of a job. One last question, we'll do Q&A. So where do you think social media is going? What's going to be next? What's the hot thing? What should we be paying attention to or jumping on board with? Or what's up?
Video is here. It's not, should I? It's here. 3 years ago, the message was already out that you need to do video, and it was optional. Today, it's not optional. You either if you do it, if you don't do it, you're going to be obsolete. So with social media, I think the buzzword was video.
Like in this room, I mean, I've seen your videos over and over. I don't think there's anyone else in this room I see doing like consistent, like medium to higher quality video. And like even I don't do video either. I just snap, but that's just my thing. But there's agents are really starting to step their game up and doing like decent video. It doesn't have to be expensive. It just has to be like at least use a decent camera or like stabilizer.
$30 sometimes to get a video edited. So it doesn't have to be.
So I agree with both Paul and Kenny on video. Here's the other side of it though. It can't be an infomercial. Sometimes, like, how many times you get nowadays? All these emails that come that new listing, who really looks at that, right? Everyone deletes, right? And if you're on there all the time, it becomes the same kind of noise, right? So you got to be careful. I mean, if you're going to do the videos, I agree, it is videos, but there has to be a way that you deliver that message the way that it's intended to be delivered and not an infomercial. And the reason I say that to you is because we know that the, social media has become the new pathway or to our clients. And going back to we talked when we first started this whole conversation, you really have to measure what you're doing out there. And you're right, you got to get out there, but again, it depends on your client. So again, I'm not saying it's for everybody. One thing that I like, I've been using is HomeBot. And the reason I like HomeBot is because spending 20 years having a financial background and on the trading floor, HomeBot kind of gives you your account summary, right? Your home summary, so you know the value of your home. And I like that because people always click on because they want to see what the value is. And so it keeps me right there in front of my clients, and I get to see how many times they click on it and so forth, and they reach out to me. And we have, hey, market looks strong, market looks weak. So I have to say that, yeah, video, I agree with both Kenny and Paul. You have to be out there, careful how you do it. HomeBot's another way of staying in front of your clients in a very non-intrusive way.
Very good.
I think video is. I think if you're doing video, you should spend a little more time on it because now agents are starting to do it. But starting to see, but it's good. This is like a step one into it, which I don't do. Like they do the intro, like welcome to da da da, and then it's just the regular Open Home Pro video, which is a good start. But you guys got to start doing some more interesting stuff. I think people got to start getting pretty creative because when everyone hires the same companies to do the same things, everyone looks the same. And I think those videos are really, really great because then you'll probably beat someone else on that listing appointment that you go on. But that video might not attract. It doesn't like spread to get people to find out who you are. You might use that as like a tool set. So that's something I think people, if you're going to do social media, you gotta get more creative and create more engagement. So like like liking posts, I don't comment enough too, but if you're just liking, comment, no one sees what you're doing. You actually say something. So I've been trying to make effort to like say something on people's pictures, but that's hard because it feels like a job too. But I'll give you an example. So Instagram is coming out with a new tool called Threads. Threads is really weird. It's like almost like, remember AOL Instant Messenger? Your wave message stuff? Threads has this thing where it's coming out. You can put your statuses. Like I'm driving right now. I'm in the office, whatever. I'm watching TV, and you change it so all your friends are close friends only. It's not like everyone. You set who your close friends are. They want everyone you like and know to know what you're doing at all times. And there's this thing in it where actually showed the miles you're going per hour. So you're driving, people know you're driving. So it's getting kind of creepy. And then on top of that,
Turn the speed limit.
Facebook, I think I haven't seen it in person, but Facebook released that new camera that you put next to your TV. So then it'll follow you around, so you can watch TV with your spouse or your family member. You're nothing safe. Like there's no private space anymore if you don't want it to. And most people are willing to be with someone all day. Like you might want to see your husband or wife all day, like at the camera, or your kids. So think about like there's apps. So this is where social media is really not about like trying to reach as many people as possible. Social media really is gearing towards just that one-on-one. And that's why Facebook is doing these new things, because they're actually losing market share now to Snapchat, and that's doing really well. And for me, a guilty pleasure of mine is I'm stuck on it for hours, like an hour at a time. It's TikTok. I just watch. I have an action plan to try to learn TikTok. It's not.
What is TikTok?
So TikTok is because those younger people or even younger than us, no one's even here. It's a lot of dancing video, but that's actually so TikTok. Like how Twitter, Instagram has hashtags. Well, the way TikTok works is pretty interesting. I've been trying to figure it out. It's actually tied in by the sound background and music. So there's like memes. I remember it was like really funny when I was trying to mimic. It sounds so stupid. It's just someone slapping and then like slapping and then slapping again, and slapping, and then pow. It sounds stupid, right? But you see people then replicating that on their dogs, their cats, their spouse, or like surprise like their boyfriend, girlfriend. Because like so you take these funny already pre-recorded tracks, the action, and you recreate it yourself. So it gives you the template. You know how everything goes viral, dances, but then nothing goes as much viral anymore because there's just like literally like 50, 100 new viral things a day through TikTok. So I think that's really, really interesting because it kind of teaches you how to create something very funny, and you could go down and see like 50 other people who's done that funny thing, and you do it and you upload it through Instagram, and then you have it. So like TikTok, I know you see dancing and stuff, but there's actually like a whole new world on it. So lately I've been on TikTok and just saving the things I think are funny. So when they have time, I'm gonna be creating videos. But for me, when I create videos, I like on Instagram, I stopped posting on my wall because everyone's posting just listed, just sales. If you look at my wall, there's no listings. I haven't done listings in like half a year because everyone else is doing it. So on TikTok, no one else is doing that stuff. You ever able to copy the TikTok stuff, the funny action memes, and bring that over to Instagram? It's a brand new audience that think you're hilarious and you're super creative. They don't know that you usually just copy some kids. So I think that's really cool part. So if you guys have you guys download TikTok, just content on there is just so original. Like I was scrolling through, I've never seen that before, never seen that, and it just keeps being created every day. So I think that's the future, and then a lot of people should start thinking about TikTok. I know you guys are barely getting Instagram. I'm sorry. Now you gotta there's another one.
That's another.
Just add to kids, yeah. Before I thought they were once creating all this custom soundtrack, but I didn't know you could just upload, pick it, and then like you're doing the video while the soundtracks are preloaded, so you just wait for the music and you just do the action. And again, the people think you're freaking hilarious.
So that's an interesting point Kenny brings up, changing the mark, right? Pivoting again. So now,
post less real estate. You want to do more real estate business?
Yeah.
Post less real estate,
and
post more other stuff.
That's exactly the whole point. If you go out there and you're an infomercial on everything that you do, it's like everyone is doing it. So you got to figure somewhere.
I don't care about interest rates.
Where you get that separation and that new feed, that new information. And you're right. You're 100% right. How many times have you gone to a Tom Ferry event and they talk about scripts? And listen, I like Tom Ferry, and I think I like the scripts and everything. But what happens
TikTok
a lot
is a new script.
New script, but they don't know how to interpret it, right? Because it's so scripted that they don't ever take that information and make it their own. So you walk into any listing appointment and it's so scripted. Oh my God, you guys sound so robotic because it's scripted. But you're never able to transform that into you and who you are, so you shine or you come out. And I think that's the problem a lot of times with our industry is that everyone's trying to rush to one space and doing it, and everyone is doing it for the same way. And then that's when you got to get out of that. I remember when it was podcasts. You got to have a podcast. And I was like, Jesus, who wants to read a bunch of stuff?
I have a really serious question. Like, who actively listens to podcasts here? Like, a lot. I don't really, but you see, like, people, everyone's talking about, getting on a podcast, but, like, I don't know who's listening to the podcast. I think the people who's listening to podcasts are people who's telling other people to listen to podcasts. Because there's so, like, I listen, I'm really bad on Audible, but, like, when I'm in the car, I'm usually listening to, like, a book. But podcasts, it's just so much work, like, to dedicate. How many podcasts can you really, really, really follow? Like, usually they're, like, half an hour long.
They're really long.
Yeah, like, if there's 4 people, you don't got 2 hours each day to listen to someone talk. Like, and then you're like doing loans or like me driving the appointment. Like, we're not in the car that much, so I don't know. I think it's they're trying to trick us.
So my guilty pleasure would be that I do like listening to podcasts, but certain speakers, right? Certain speakers that captivate me. I like Brian Buffini. I like listening to him. And Tom Ferry does have a good podcast, and I like listening to them. Or a couple other guys, right? Gary Vee is amazing, right? Because every other word, F-bomb this, F that, and this and that, and don't buy real estate, and you should be renting. It's like, well, okay, I'm in real estate. Now you're telling me I can't listen to him. Anyway, point being is that to Kenny, it's really what brings you into this and what you're going to learn, because I don't think it's a one-size-fits-all. It's not.
You're like, think about, like, so the people who do follow you, that you're like your friends, like, what do they like? Don't try to do just what you like. What do you think they would want to see? I don't think we give that enough thought. It's always about us. You're not really thinking about, like, what your audience cares about.
True.
All right, see what you get when you let realtors talk about themselves?
Shut up.
Anyway, so let's do a Q&A section. Anyone's got a question, please stand up, introduce yourself, and ask your question.
My name's Leah Catalina, and my question is, what about YouTube? So I was going to do a whole bunch of YouTube next year. Is it dead? Is it worth me doing that anymore?
I know one person that's just, you guys should follow YouTube agents. They're, like, completely killing it. They're in Portland. I didn't talk about it earlier, but they sent me 4 referrals in 1 month for $4 million worth of deals in San Mateo, Livermore, San Jose, and there's one more I forgot where, but we signed everything. That's my connection already, because we have that engagement. But they do really cool videos, and they're teaching agents how to do that. So I think YouTube, I've seen the really successful agents do YouTube, even though they have like 10, 20 views and stuff. But you realize when that thing blows up, it doesn't matter how many views you have, because the person who's thinking of hiring you really values that you have this many video. So you should do YouTube if you could have the time for it.
I agree with them. I think that there is so much space out there for you to occupy, and if that's kind of where your passion takes you, you should do it.
So you can post it on IGTV too, and then you can slice it up and put it on, like you read that, you can slice it up in little things and put it on whatever.
Very good.
Santino, Kingship, Realty. How much is your business actually generated from social media? Would you say, what percentage?
That's a catch, because for me, social media is just building awareness of who I am. Kenny talk about being top of mind, right? I just want my daily. This is just my lead gen. I do a minimum of 3 posts, maximum 4 posts per day, 2 personal and 2 daily activity that I do as a real estate professional. So for me, it's just a matter of letting people know that, hey, I'm here. If you need me, I'm available. And I know that's sort of vague, but you never know, because when it comes from your sphere, it's not as if, hey, I saw this, that's why I'm calling you. It's just they just thought of you for that instant. That's why they picked up the phone or they texted you. So that's to me, that's how I interpret that.
So like I said earlier, there's like I just learned the term, like today is direct marketing. We're running ads, people call you on that thing, and then brand marketing. I think from my post, someone will talk to me and then will send me a referral. So maybe like throughout that, maybe like 15% of my business. But I consider that almost almost like 9 out of 10 of the people I've recruited on my team, whether they left or not, was from social media. So that's hard to gauge. Like most of my business comes from people who came through social media.
So my business doesn't really come through social media. It comes through my sphere of influence. And it's all relationships, it's all relational. And it's built upon. So this is the only industry that you get interviewed all the time, right? I mean, you go for a listing presentation, you're being interviewed for that job most of the time, right? If it's your sphere, you still have to come out of it, you have to come out and and show them what you've been doing for the last 6 months. And that's where social media kind of comes in. That's where those videos come in, because now you can show them that this is what I'm doing. So you have, it's not like you've been unemployed. You've been active. And I think that's what they want to see, especially your sphere. That's probably top of mind. Come on in, see what you're about. And most everyone today, if you're a realtor, they want to make sure that their realtor's he's a current realtor, up to speed, kind of like what Kenny said earlier. It's one of those things where you can't be like they say, a secret agent. You got to be out there. So it's not that my whole presence is not really to go out and generate a bunch of new leads, but it's really to reinforce the leads that I have, the people already in there, and that's how my business grows, is because I'll get the referrals from the people that I'm already servicing.
And when we're like down that, like agents as you're building your brand, you should put those just listed, just old things to promote it. All the agents in my team do. I just stopped doing because my team does it. But like, you could tell your seller, hey, when I post on my social media, I usually get 100, 200 likes or whatever. Like for then what I actually do at my appointment is like, well, I have over 7,000 people follow me. Like thousands of them are agents. Every time I post something, 1,000 people see it. So we're doing a lot of deals off market. You want to hire an agent that has reach. Like for me, it's not the likes, I do the reach. But so I think social media not only helps you get deals, but helps you like win the clients over. They want to see that you are, like you said, in tune with what's going on. If you have no presence online, you're probably really established. Like a lot of teams are now, they're hiring people to do it, but it's kind of hard to start doing a lot of business right now in today's market when you're competing against, millennials coming in and doing their lifestyle shoots, and they're posting how busy they are. They might be showing the same deal over and over, but it doesn't matter. Like the people think they're really busy, and that's all that matters.
100% right. I mean, look at the lawn example I gave you. I wasn't even relevant until I put myself out there. So it's true. You got to be there. Again, you're being interviewed all the time,
and you want to talk about your day because like the people who watch you care what you have to say. So that's something I teach my team members. They're starting, like, I'm not just feeding them leads like I was at one point in my team building. Now I'm like teaching them what to post. We're reposting each other a lot. When we repost something interesting or either way, or our team, they're reposting, and then they get that engagement. So social media is like a team sport. You want to make it fun.
And also like share. Sorry, Grant.
No, go.
Share that our life is not perfect. Our deals are not perfect. Share that, because it's almost, like going back to about the cookie cutter, it's like everything sold for 25% above list price. How about those deals where you sort of had to really fight, right, and really worked hard to make it complete, right? You sort of want to share those stories in the sense of what you did to make it possible at the same time.
Can I add something to that? That's sometimes what I'm worried about social media is my clients and sharing that stuff. Like, do you have consent from them, or like, are you just sharing this stuff? Is that what if something?
Well, it's
yeah.
So you got to be careful in terms of that, right? You don't say I am at 123 Main Street. My seller's name is this, and
my team member just did that there. They're like, dude, you can't post that. We don't have to listen to you. Like, we're at da Main Road. I'm like, no, you can't. You can show like the backyard. If you watch what I did today on a couple of this appointment, you can see the house, the outside houses. I don't mention the street. I do say the city. But you just gotta.
So do the work. Like, hey, I'm here with the home inspectors, right? I want to protect my buyer's best interest. No names, no property, just letting them know.
I haven't heard of a lawsuit for that, and it's gone 24 hours, so I don't know.
Yeah, no, but yes, great point. Just don't invade someone's privacy. How's that? Just be considerate of others.
They keep all the rings in this corner.
Oh God, that's a gun. No.
Shane Gallagher. I heard a lot about the branding side of things that you talked about. It's mostly a lot of posting out there, but you spoke, Kenny, about the lead generation demand. Do any of you use social media for that type? Or it sounds to me like you use social media just to keep in front aware, but there's people out there that might not have that referral base that you guys have, or that business, and there's a whole different way to use Facebook, I believe, that can benefit people's business.
Was that famous quote like branding is not like the way, it's not your logo or your font or whatever is how you make people feel or what they say about you when you're not in the room. This is like some quote I see all the time. So like that's for branding. Like if you're trying to use social media, like they might not remember every single thing you. It's over
I
7.
guess my question was more about the other side.
I think
just the posting and for your own community, but not really on how it can be leveraged for
I think
for what?
For demand or lead generation.
can you
Yeah, like doing more targeted ads that are out there. You talked a lot about getting your word out to your base, but you seem happy with just promoting to your base. For somebody in the business that wants to grow their business.
So like HomeBot, lenders use it, agents. I ran a HomeBot ad with a snapshot what they use of home value and like what the back end of HomeBot looks like. I ran it and did a landing page. I actually collected like 10 leads. I just did that briefly. So you could do like lead capture stuff or shop now, or you have something of a listing. You could drive them traffic to your website. And they'll see it. They might not click there right away, or if you have a lender page or with rates, you can send them there, and then like then you capture them there.
I think you're asking if I boost ads or not.
Well, there's a difference between boosting ads and
Okay.
campaigns.
Okay.
So I loved what you had to say. I just think there's a lot more power in the platform from a social media perspective.
So I work with Curator. I pay them every month to run. I've been working with 3 years. They write blogs for me and they run it. Like today I made a little money and I broke even and I lost. They're okay. It's really for branding, which isn't what you would like. And I collected like over 1,500 email addresses, but there's really not that much response to it. But today they sent out. If you go on my Instagram stories, you can see actually my screenshots today from this example. They sent this email out through for me, and then it was like thanking them for working with me in the past and asking for a review. So I got 4 people respond today that says, "Where did I leave a review?" So that's a direct example of social media helping me today.
That's a great question. That's Kenny's level. I'm just trying to swim.
Hello, hi, I'm Florian Santos.
Hey, Florian.
Hi, I wanted to mention for anybody who wants to do videos, you can download a teleprompter on your cell phone. You can upload what you want to say, and you can adjust the speed so you don't make a mistake, and you can time it, practice it, and you'll have a really nice video.
Can I look thinner, Florian? That's my problem. Can I look thinner on the video?
Yeah, I've done quite a few videos on YouTube already, and teleprompter really helps.
Is it an app that you download or?
It's an app, yes.
May I ask what's the name of that app?
It's like you're just doing a video, but you're reading, and it scrolls up
Oh wow!
as you're reading.
It's like Star Wars.
And there's also a teleprompter that as you read, you don't have to scroll. It scrolls on its own.
Oh, wow.
Because it's clear your words matching what you're reading. And as you read it, it'll scroll up for you and it continues.
So what's the name of the app? Teleprompter?
There are different kinds.
Oh, okay. We're gonna stop there.
I have to
Okay.
check which one it is.
Okay.
What's your favorite? I gotta look at my app. I haven't done one for a while. I have
Nice to
my
stop
little
by.
apps here. And I use for my, hold on.
Kenny, what's your Instagram?
Kenny_fast. Here's a question for the audience. Which is not something we've done before. Like for those of you guys who are not posting it, like why aren't you posting like anything? Anyone?
Actually, I have a question, and then I'll kind of
There's
get to that.
Prompt Smart Light. It's a teleprompter, and I believe that's the one that scrolls up with your voice. There's also Video Teleprompter 3, and you can download one for free and try it out.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you.
And then I use for the video Filmmaker Pro.
Nice.
Very good. Very good.
I'm sorry. What was your question?
My name's Jacob Cordova, and so currently I have two, things with social
Is it
media
Jake the
accounts.
agent or Jake the eater, whiskey drinker?
Exactly, both of them. One's drink with Jake and one's
Jake
Jake the agent.
Yeah.
So I have two Instagrams. One, I'm drinking, acting a fool, doing the running man, and just going crazy. And then one, I'm doing my real estate stuff. And so after listening to this, I'm thinking, well, because I'm inconsistent on my social media because I'm managing two accounts and it's not. And I'm always worried that if I post me partying on my
I think you attract more people who like partying.
And it was just fun. I actually
Even Climb has taught it at the classes. I have yet, maybe someone prove me wrong, I have yet to see one single agent in my market that has successfully ran a separate account just real estate. I've seen people do there's in my office was Julia Lee, even our CEO, president, Christine Kim, the same thing. There's Christine Kim or Julia Lee or Robert Parker, and then they put .re and then we run an account. And it's just so hard to even do one account, to build a following. You're trying to separate two. I just haven't seen anyone do it.
I think for me, people used to ask me about how I go about it, and I used to be bashful or afraid to say it because for me, I've done everything wrong from what the industry have said. However, it's what works for me. And going back to what Kenny shared, you're sort of attracting your own tribe, right? Who's going to appreciate you? Because I don't want no Laker fans following me, right? So for me, so at the end of the day, just do you.
All right, sir, you in the third row. Do you
Yeah,
have a
my
question?
question is more on the lead generation. That's the topic about sort of. And my question is, usually up there, for new agents or agents coming into the field, we get a lot of correspondence from lead generation companies. What is your opinion? What is your potential opinion about lead generation companies and the benefit that they can provide for you, or is there a benefit, or is there a benefit that
when you're referring to a lead generation company, are you referring to a Z name or something like that?
Pardon me?
Are you soliciting for you to pay?
Yeah, they're soliciting us. They're sitting on it.
For me, what's worked for me?
No, I'm saying, what is your opinion about those companies that send you information? Do you guys use them, and do you advocate should agents?
Yes, I have. To answer your question, yes, I have. And there's no better return on my money than an open house.
Yeah.
I'm not at other players' level. Is at my comfort level. $2,000 a month is quite a bit for me to chew when I first started. That being said, the return, the leads that I get versus the leads that I get from hosting an open house, I get paid at the open house. I'm paying these people. And 65% of my business came from open houses. So at the end of the day, look in the mirror, and if you want it, go get it.
My account, on Zillow, I spent maybe $600,000 on Zillow throughout the years. It used to work really, really well. We did I think we did $60 or $70 million in sales one year, and we broke even the thing. And 2 years ago we lost money. This year we're kind of breaking even. I think lead generation websites are done because anyone can get access to it. You can be a brand new agent and get it. This is why this whole thing we're talking about social media, I think lead attraction is key. You gotta get people to like you or get in front of them, and then make them find out why they would like you. So we have to actually cut down our spend. Earlier this year on Zillow, we were doing $20,000 a month. Last year we was doing 30. One point we were doing 50. Now we're down at 5, and I'm actually teaching my team to stop with online leads.
So much money.
I'm not sure if it's a chemical imbalance, but man, when that phone rings and you think it's a lead, you get all hyped, and all of a sudden it's
online leads. There's other 1.5% conversion rate we've seen. The 2%. It's stupid. Why would you want to talk to 100 people when you can go open house or door knock? My team has started to be pretty successful at door knocking.
Yeah.
Or just dropping off flyers. And we're getting calls today. My team called me and said some lady wants to sell. They met with someone already, but they're considering working with us. It's just you want to just get out there. That requires no social media, but they're interviewing and see you're kind of fun online. They're like, you know what, I like this person.
I just based on my experience, a lot of the proposed shiny apples out there, they touch the right button, right? Don't have to make the phone call, right? Don't have to do the open houses. Don't have to door knock. They touch all the right button that we do not want to do. But the reality is we need to do if you want to survive in this industry.
So I'm going to follow with that. You know, at the end of the day, you're going to have to get in front of that individual for either the listing appointment or talking to, whether you're working with buyers or sellers. And you're going to have to be able to interview for that job. And you're going to have to be able to put a listing presentation or be able to speak to someone over the phone the right way to capture that lead and have that conversation and building a relationship in order for you to be their realtor. Kenny's right, man. Today's market is so competitive. And if you're not posting, if you're not there, why would they even use you? More importantly,
it just gives you reach.
It's
still got to figure out how to be a good agent and
talk to
them. Skill set building.
Yeah, and it comes back to building a relationship. It's a people-to-people business. You got to touch it. Sooner or later, you got to get in front of them. Sooner or later, you got to get in your car. The fact is, how do you that's where you got to really work on. That's one big piece, exposure, right? Big piece. But if they get in front of you and you're not knowledgeable, you don't understand your business, you can't hold a conversation about what the market's doing, I don't think, it's too competitive to be in that idle position and not be knowledgeable.
You like my posts, I thought you were going to hire me.
Right, yeah, exactly.
You like 3 of my posts, I thought we were cool.
I thought we were done. Signed. It doesn't work that way.
I think the biggest challenge that I found myself this year was I did not have a lead generating problem. I had a lead conversion problem.
That's huge.
And that's the skill set.
You don't want to be stuck on social media all day and not make your calls.
Right.
Right. That's where people get kind of stuck at, I feel like, when they're kind of doing this thing. All right, last question.
So I have a question. Like, I have a really hard time getting on social media and getting in front of the camera sometimes. I mean, I'm pretty silly as long as I know that I'm not being like always watched or whatever. So do you guys do videos and you're like, and then you see it and then you're like, oh no, I'm gonna delete that, and then you start over again and then you delete, and then you, like, when do you know when you're like okay to post, or like how long does it take?
If you post, your posts are gone 24 hours, you post something stupid or no one watches it, who cares? You just go on the next one. You keep posting and then people start liking more things and you'll find out what works. I think they bring this up a lot of times in conferences. A lot of people are shy on the camera because they don't like the way they look or they have bad hair. You realize that's really how you look, right? Because if you go to a buyer's appointment or listing appointment, you look like that. I mean, I scratch myself head. I look like stupid, but you know what? I'm still gonna go meet with a client.
I'm actually the opposite. I'm glad you touched on that. I get really psychological when it comes to social media. I want people to see the worst, like running and dripping and hair flying all over the place. The reason why is because I get really psychological. And what I mean by that is,
have you gotten feedback? Like, or you haven't posted because you gave yourself feedback? Yeah. So I think you just gotta ease into it.
And it's never going to be perfect. That's the whole deal. You're never going to be 100% satisfied with it. But you got to surround yourself with the quality of what you're putting out there.
I feel like you're going to get a lot of responses, because good ones, positive ones, because you just haven't done it. When you start doing it, people are like, oh my god,
it's never perfect.
They'll laugh, along with you, not at you, and then they'll give you you'll feel encouragement to do it.
And also be careful with how you view other people, because I think what stops people from doing social media is too often times they're pointing at others. So it's when it's time for them to do it, they're like, oh no, I'm afraid someone's going to say this about me, because they say that about them.
So I take it a little differently than Paul. I look at it like, again, everyone's different. Every mindset is different, right? You got to get into your comfort zone and deliver the message the way you want it to be delivered. And most of the time, it's like, who appeals to you? Whoever appeals to you is going to, more likely you're going to appeal to them. That's how it works, right? And it's like, who do you want to sound like? Who don't you want to sound like? Who's really you? And that's what you just go with it. But I tell you, some of the mistakes I see is when someone's really trying to force that video and the wind's blowing. I'm here. It's like, delete, right? So you want to make sure, if you're going to put your foot forward in doing it, make sure it's a video that it translates to show.
I disagree with it. If there was wind blowing, I would let your hair just go. I I would watch that. Yours like this. You're gonna get so many comments on that. That would be hilarious.
But I'm not talking about your. I'm not talking about your hair. I'm talking about the quality of the videos. Like, it's like, shh, and you're like, we're standing here. Like, really click, and that's really what I'm getting at is the sound quality. The make sure that. But is it going to be perfect? The answer is no. You're never going to be happy and it's okay. It's okay because you know what? You're building a resume for your next listing appointment. And they're going to see you there, and just like you can push that thing 10 times, they don't know. This is what I've done. And they're like, God, that's great. It is.
You're not getting good at it until you start posting and you get feedback from people. That's why, like, on like memes and stuff, like, okay, like you post like memes or funny things that you find funny. If you see something with a lot of likes, like I use this for motivational posts all the time. Like I love following this website called Founder without the E. I look like that's kind of cool. I kind of like that. No one else likes it. Maybe I don't think people like it. Oh, this one has like so many likes. If I post that, I know people like it. Like it, because then it's already been tested. Yeah. So like kind of like Pinterest. I used to post things from Pinterest, I think, or Facebook. You see something funny on Facebook. Why can't you screenshot it and bring it there? You already see everyone likes it, so you know for sure that's going to be good content, and you're the source of the content.
So I brought my daughter into it, right? So focus off me on her. They're like, man, she does a great job. And I'm like, yeah.
I do that a lot with my kids and like open houses. So I'll have
leverage them.
Tell me what you liked from this open house, and they're the ones that are doing all the job. And
well, that's the whole point. You're going to attract people
I feel
to that.
Better doing that than just hey, I'm here.
That might end up being like your thing.
And it's not. Is it right or wrong? No, it's not a right or wrong.
Maybe wrong about your kids. You can't do that. Like that's cheating.
Can I borrow them for a little bit? It's true, but hey, cute kids. No, yeah, it does. There is no right or wrong at the end of the day. It's just the quality that you're going to put out there. Make sure it's a good reflection. That's what it's a good reflection of who you are. That you're proud of it. It doesn't have to be perfect.
All right.
Okay.
We good?
So these guys are going to be here for a while. If you got any more questions, ask them directly. Talk to us, talk to each other. Share cards and talk to each other about what you guys are doing that works and things like that. This guy's got to go to a listing appointment at Chase
listing
Center,
appointment.
so definitely talk to him first if you got any questions.
Hey, please go ahead and introduce yourselves to some of our sponsors out here.
Yeah.
And see how they can help your business.
Thanks so much, everybody. Thanks for coming by.